From the Tennessee Valley Weather Channel, this is a winter weather alert.
Hey folks, good morning to you. It is 6 o'clock in the Tennessee Valley. I'm Ben Luna alongside Fred Gossage in the Tennessee Valley Weather Center as we continue to track the winter storm that is working through the area this morning. We have a lot to cover, a lot in this 6 a.m. update to let you know what's going on from the Tennessee River and point south all the way into southern middle Tennessee and from northeast Mississippi all the way to I-65 because all of those areas have become a winter wonderland. Let's go ahead and check out live Doppler radar this morning. We'll start with our Viper, and we are seeing those heavier snow bands move across the entire region. Actually, we've had a lot of heavy snow reports this morning throughout North Alabama. Taking a look at radar, you can see how heavy that snow area is. A little heavier band moving through southern Tennessee, but really intensifying around the shoals and then back into Mississippi and even down toward Birmingham this morning, where we've seen several inches of snow accumulate across the area. I do want to stop the animation real quick, and we'll zoom in and get you a couple of the snow totals in our viewing area. It's still early, and I'm running on not a lot of sleep this morning, so bear with me as I drive the radar like some folks have been driving on the roads this morning, which is straight into a ditch. Unfortunately, we've already had several reports of accidents across the area of folks sliding off the roadway. I'm going to do a 3-hour snow total this morning and just give you a few indicators of how deep the snow is becoming. I think that might be just a little smidgen too deep in the shoals. I think we're sitting at a good 2.5, maybe 3, Fred, about 3 inches of snow. 3. But you can easily see the trends this morning of how quickly the snow has accumulated across the area, with some of those heavier amounts being found across northwest Alabama already. Here's the view outside as we'll start with the peak of our folks driving the roads this morning. Here's the latest from Brett this morning as we take a look at his position. He's actually setting up a shot for us, so we'll hop back to him in just a second. Here's a view from Cam and Dustin this morning as they are traveling. I believe that is...
They're on 64, yeah. It looks like. Just don't know which direction where they're at.
I think they're going west. I think I got a text message.
Yeah, I think that was the Y by the college right there a minute ago.
And that's the Shoal Creek Bridge. Holy smokes. Look, notice how they slow down on that bridge. And now these roadways were treated, okay? TDOT was out treating these roads. They have not scraped them this morning, but now they're working up the hill. That's the Shoal Creek Bridge. I think they're coming up on Glen Springs Road. And notice, I was checking to see if that might be a car off the road in the distance there, but I think that might have been somebody turning. So we'll take another shot. Here's Bryant. He's been out across Florence this morning. This is a view from the Singing River Bridge, it looks like, as he is making his way across the river this morning and doing so just very, very slowly, because always in wintry weather, the bridges and overpasses always go fast and go first. But yeah, check out how deep the snow is and just how slow he's making it this morning there. We'll do a couple of Skycam shots as well. We'll start with our UNA camera. Here's a live view from Florence this morning overlooking the UNA campus, and that coincides with what we saw from Bryant's camera. We'll head to the Lawrenceburg Square real quick and check out conditions there. And a beautiful winter wonderland with a Christmas tree still lit up in the crossroads of Dixie this morning. Looks like we've had a few folks to already work their way around the square. And we'll do one more shot this morning from Columbia Fire Station 3. This is out on Bear Creek Pike. And looks like it's coming down pretty stout in Columbia. They're just off the highway 412, actually. So that's the view from there this morning. Tell you what, we have that report from Brad Adair. He is set up in Florence this morning. Now, the report that we're going to play, he actually recorded in the 4 o'clock hour this morning. So some of the information that he gives as far as temperature and the snow totals at that time, have obviously dramatically changed this morning, but he still provides a lot of good information with boots on the ground this morning in the shoal. So here's our good friend, Brett Adair.
Good morning, Ben and Fred. Good morning, Tennessee Valley. Here on your Friday, we are dealing with a winter storm now, impacting portions of the area. As you wake up, we are starting to see heavy snowfall along and north, especially of the Tennessee River this morning, and this snow is going to get heavier. Here in the Florence area where I am located, we're starting to see a dusting here basically at my residence on the bushes, and we're also starting to see the concrete here become covered in snow as the temperatures have fallen below freezing. We're right around 31 degrees here right now at this hour, and this is going to continue for the next several hours, it looks like, guys. As those thermals have crashed, we've seen the top-down cooling with evaporative cooling. We had dry atmosphere in the lower levels, and as the precipitation got heavier and fell through the cloud layer, it moistened up, but it also cooled it. And it has cooled it all the way to the surface. We're below freezing, and we're seeing this pretty snow fall through the column. It looks like it's going to get heavier yet again for the next couple of hours, and we may see a transition a little bit later, especially in the Alabama counties. Tennessee's going to be a little bit more borderline for that, but that transition would occur and probably take things to sleet and maybe even a little bit of rainfall. But right now we're dealing with pretty heavy snowfall. Your morning commute is going to consist of travel issues because this is accumulating quickly on the grassy surfaces. And now we're starting to see, again, these concrete surfaces have been pretty cool. So the asphalt is also going to have some issues. We do know that there has been some brining and some treatment of the roadways in this area here in Lauderdale County. So hopefully the conditions will be okay. I know that we've seen several businesses and schools also close in the area. So again, it's Friday. We're going into the weekend. Hopefully you can take a day, let this mess get out of here. And as we go into the weekend, it's going to stick around because we're going to get cooler. However, conditions are going to improve. We can get these roadways cleared up, and we can start getting back to normal. Again, very cool conditions, heavy snow falling in the Florence area, and we'll be here covering it all day long. Ben, Fred, hopefully we don't see too many issues across the area, but we know how it is when it comes to a southern snowfall.
All right. Thank you, Brett. That was meteorologist Brett Adair checking in from Florence, Alabama earlier this morning. Again, that was recorded a little earlier. He's since dropped down from that 31 degrees he was at during the 4 a.m. hour into the upper 20s. So we just checked in with him a little bit ago. His snow total already knocking on the door of 3 inches before it got to 6 o'clock this morning. And we still have a few more hours to go. So there are going to be some heavy snow totals coming in out of a large part of far northwest Alabama, and then eventually up through southern middle Tennessee as this winter storm continues to ramp up across the area this morning. Winter storm warning continuing across all of southern middle Tennessee, North Alabama, and northeast Mississippi. It does not expire until 6 a.m. Saturday morning. The warning itself is not that important anymore because that was to alert you to go ahead and finalize your prep before the storm got in here. This is just a reminder that the warning is in place across the area here. So the headlines, the main bullet points, the timing of this is now through this evening. Snow, sleet, and freezing rain for the vast majority, if not all of the area. For a large number of us, not all of us, but a large number of us, this will be a widespread heavy snow today. In the main band area we've been talking about, accumulations of 4 to 7 inches are possible in those regions, in 1 or 2 locations scattered in there, more likely on the Tennessee side of the state line than the Alabama side of the state line, but somewhere in that band there could be a few totals higher than that 4 to 7 inch range that we're highlighting. Again, we're also watching for a wintry mix to reach into the area, especially on the Alabama side of the state line once we get toward the late morning and the midday hours headed into the afternoon. That may spread some sleet also in the southern middle Tennessee, but any way you shake it, widespread travel problems are likely today and tonight, and lingering issues on into the weekend ahead. This is a high impact winter storm. You see the heavy snow setting up across the northern half of Alabama into the northern third of Mississippi and continuing to spread northward through southern middle Tennessee. I just checked outside our door about 30 minutes ago when we were already up to an inch to an inch and a half of snow and still coming down here on the northeast side of Lawrenceburg. There are heavier totals near and over 2 inches in the south side of Lawrence County, Tennessee, and this will continue to pile up over the next several hours. Temperatures locally are holding into the upper 20s to lower 30s out there. These are air temperatures. The next thing I'll show you will be the road temperatures, pavement surfaces, and you can see they're in the upper 20s area wide. That's the actual road surface temperature, and that's why we're having these travel conditions rapidly going downhill across the area and snow-covered roads. Florence Lauderdale EMA reported in the previous hour that most all of their county roads have 2 to 2.5 inches of snow on top of the road surfaces, and this is exactly why, because these road temperatures down into the 20s. So hazardous travel across the area. Here's the futurecast breakdown showing the heavy snow across northwest Alabama into southern middle Tennessee. Notice a wintry mix starting to come northward by the mid to late morning into the midday. A lot of this will be sleet instead of a glaze of ice, but south of the Tennessee River, there could be some glazing involved, some light glazing of ice. The sleet spreads into southern middle Tennessee into the afternoon. Still temperatures hovering near or just below the freezing mark, so hazardous travel conditions will continue. And then we drop into the mid to upper 20s for overnight lows. So anything that gets slushy by the afternoon will refreeze tonight. So travel impacts will continue. Maybe a flurry Saturday morning as temperatures start in the mid to upper 20s to begin our Saturday. Clouds will hang tough as well. Limited sunshine tomorrow, which means probably not a lot of solar radiation onto the roadways, but I do expect some afternoon melting with daytime highs in the low to mid 30s. But then it refreezes again Saturday night, and we have to wait until Sunday with more sunshine on the road to get some more thawing, which may refreeze again Sunday night into Monday morning. If you've been watching our 4 and 5 a.m. updates early this morning, we talked about possibly nudging our 4+ inch snow totals down into the Shoals Metro, down into north central Colbert County. Because of the snow totals we're already seeing in northwest Alabama and the trends of how everything's going, and the fact that we still have several more hours, we have gone ahead and pushed that 4+ inch area down into the northwest half of Colbert County. That includes all of the Quad City, Shoals Metro area, all the way back into northern areas of Limestone County, Alabama, then up through all of southern middle Tennessee and a large part of Tishomingo County, Mississippi. As little as 4, but in some of these areas of southern middle Tennessee especially, it could eventually end up isolated areas of 7+. South of that, from Athens back to Moulton to Phil Campbell, through Russellville, the Red Bay area, the light blue shading here, 2 to 4, and especially the closer you get to the dark blue area, I can't rule out an isolated 5, especially in northern Limestone County. And then south of the Tennessee River in Morgan County, Alabama, 1, maybe as much as 2 to 3 inches of snow. We'll see how that goes. They'll have more mixing and more icing down there. The best chance of a light glaze of ice up to 2/10 of an inch, just shy of a 1/4 inch. That's going to be near and south of the Tennessee River today in North Alabama. Sleet, however, extending as far north as middle Tennessee by the midday and the afternoon. High impact winter storm today with heavy snow accumulation, the wintry mix over North Alabama, and we'll have to watch both the heavy snow area and that icing area for the potential for some spotty, short-lived type power outages. We'll be watching that carefully as we move through the day. So to recap here, a winter storm warning in effect for all of the area through today and tonight. It expires at 6 a.m. Saturday. For the likelihood today and on the ongoing reality of widespread hazardous travel from significant snow, sleet, and freezing rain. Now, Ben Luna yesterday got a chance to sit down with Jeff Hardy and Shelton Barnett from the Lawrence County EMA and the Murray County EMA, talking about winter weather preparedness ahead of this winter storm.
obviously we're discouraging travel if at all possible. We understand that there are some that just have to get out. And in those cases, first and foremost, slow down. Slow down, make sure there's plenty of room between you and the car in front of you. Give yourself plenty of braking time. The good news, it looks like, sounds like we're just going to get snow and not very much ice, which will be beneficial in that regard. The back roads, country roads, roads that don't get a lot of sunshine are going to be the worst. Plan accordingly, leave plenty of time to get to your destination. And then simple things, pack an extra change of clothes, make sure you're wearing appropriate clothing to go out in the weather. Put a blanket in your car, have some food and water, have a way to contact your loved ones. Just a basic flashlight, just some basic survival things so that people can take care of themselves. Should something happen and they get distracted, stranded, that's going to be the key to all of this.
If you get stuck and it's going to be an hour and you're low on gas, have the stuff there to keep yourself warm. Don't go out low on gas. I mean, we're ahead of time enough. You can fuel your tank. Do those little prep things.
One thing that we do here in Murray County, and we teach all of our first responders and work with our 911 center. If somebody abandons a vehicle on the side of the road and it gets called in, we go out and check it. And we determine that it is an abandoned vehicle for whatever reason. We will put caution tape on it pretty visibly on the side mirror, door handles, wrap around the antenna, something to flag it so that if somebody else calls it in, we know that that's a vehicle we've already checked. So if the general public sees that, understand that they don't have to call 911 for that. If they see it tagged, that we've already looked at that and made sure that nobody was in there.
We run into the problems of where that, because of the temperatures, like Sunday morning, somewhere between 11 and 18 degrees, people start seeing the problem of their pipes trying to freeze. Well, they'll run heaters trying to keep those things warm enough where they don't freeze. And sometimes they get them too close to combustibles, too much stuff in the proximity of them, and it causes a fire. That's something we've got to watch. Start that heating early by swinging open the doors, like the cabinet doors, and allow some of that warmer air to move in there. Keep a watch on that type of situation. That is something big because we don't want to see somebody lose a house because their pipes froze.
So we would recommend, obviously, two things. One, have a good working smoke detector. Have multiple working smoke detectors throughout your residence. Good batteries in them. It's a cheap, easy insurance to make sure that if there is something that happens, that those that live in that residence can get out quickly. If you use any type of gas appliance, whether that's propane or natural gas in any way, shape, or form, make sure you have a CO detector as well. That's the silent killer, and we don't want to see anything negative happen to anybody. Like Shelton said, just paying attention, making sure that if you are going to use portable heaters, whether that's a plug-in electric type, that you follow the manufacturer's recommendations. Look at the tag to see if it's UL listed. That means that it's been tested by professionals and that it is safe to use if you follow the directions. Those are some simple things that folks can do to help protect themselves and their property. If the citizen's having a hard time driving, emergency service is also going to have a hard time driving in it. We've been working with our partners at TDOT, our city public works, our county highway department, ensuring that we clear those routes as quickly as possible. But we have people that live in a very rural community, and those roads are a lot harder to clear, and that takes time. Getting emergency services there, we just ask for patience, call early. Help us making sure that your driveway is clearly marked, making sure that each home has a visible reflective address that we can see from the roadway on the mailbox. Those simple things will make a difference, not only on a day like Friday, but on a normal day. That will help us be able to serve you.
We had a discussion with our EMS people, and Lawrence County has a couple 4-wheel drive ambulances, some that have these swing down chains, but it's still, this weather is going to slow them down. The same thing for fire protection, the same thing on that. Not saying they won't come, because those guys are going to come, but if you've got any doubt, call early. That's the difference in being successful on a mission like that.
You're watching the Tennessee Valley Weather Channel.